Howdy there, McGuire. Have we had a chat yet?
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger.
Thanks.
Enjoy. If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
How well do you know Nyoka?
Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka, on account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you?
You said you're not used to seeing new faces around here.
Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the Iconoclasts or some such.
Why is this place called the Yacht Club?
But it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all.
Are there any yachts in Stellar Bay?
Nope. But a man can dream.
I was gonna say, like, do you make Shovel Knight? They sell booze in a shocking reveal. Not a lot to do there. Anything interesting here? I always like me some bypass shunts. Just in case. Nyoka Bar Talk bingo sheet. Several phrases have been marked off, right between the eyes. There were 4 of them. That raft was this big. Took it down in one shot. Buy me a drink. They made a bingo sheet of commonly uttered lines. As people tell the same tall tales with the same language again and again, all the time. Caleb Herrick, autoloader operator. You're the guy that was mad at me before, aren't you?
New face, huh?
Nope.
You from Off-World?
Yep, Captain Steve Buckworthy of the Unreliable.
A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell and revel with us?
What are you celebrating?
Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking.
What could be so bad it made you walk off the job?
It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor, Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay.
I happen to be pretty good with negotiations.
I wouldn't doubt it. You look like the type who tends to come out on top. Not like us cogs, trying to be the squeaky wheel, but just getting deadlocked. It's been days, but Velma won't even hear us out. Maybe you could just make her listen to our demands.
I'll mediate on your behalf.
You would do that? We sure are lucky you decided to come up to the patio today. I knew drinking up here would be good for more than the view.
We need to talk about Velma.
Sure thing. What did you want to discuss?
You can just lie immediately so that they might go back to work on behalf of Velma not getting fired. How long can you afford to miss work?
Not forever, but we've each saved up our bits, and I stashed them safe in my home by the diner. I reckon we could last a week or two at least.
So you can steal their money, is I think what the suggestion there. Any suggestions for how to put pressure on Velma to negotiate?
If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better. The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no proof they're true.
What's this about blackmail now?
I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma's taking a cut off the profits. So far, it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon.
I'll talk to you later. Yep, it pays to be really thorough about your exploring of these areas. It's why I prioritize exploring over doing the quests, and then I go back to clean them up when I'm done exploring if I can. Because otherwise I'll lose track of where I left off. Scraping up and down every wall, nice and careful like. The Deadeye assault rifle I was trying to buy before. Does it suck now? Yeah, it sucks now. Yeah. That's the one I wanted to buy at the store, and they just vanished right when I tried to buy it. And that was a bit of a problem to me. So she wants caffeinoid pills. Cause she's falling apart. Yeah, this is the guy. I thought it was this guy because it was like, same hair, sunglasses. It's like maybe he just walked upstairs.
Uh-huh.
Think they're watching the same serials, following the same Tossball games?
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to a word, are you?
Look, my back aches and everything smells like fish. I just want to enjoy my beer.
My back aches and everything smells of fish.
You want to talk to the boss? She's in the back of the warehouse.
Always picking these up. 19. That's actually a bit of money for something that I'm not necessarily even using that actively. Just feels smart to pick up healing items when given the chance. But it's kind of wasteful in this case. Like, these other items aren't particularly expensive. But spending like 1,000 on heals would be a bit much. Grim.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
You seem surprised.
You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
Takes more than a few gunships to scare me.
Wish more folk could say that. Gets awful quiet guarding a landing pad that never gets used. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic, us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Captain Steve Buckworthy.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
Is Stellar Bay really that isolated?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
You're not what I expected to find on Monarch.
Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Are you saying the board's been lying about this place?
Oh, sure. They make Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell. Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though.
I'm gonna have a look around town.
Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor?
That depends. What is it?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
Who's the Black Hole?
That's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest Tossball hackers ever. Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You been living in a sulfur pit or something?
Actually, I've been in hibernation for decades.
Oh, you're real funny. Guess I don't feel so bad for missing what goes on in the rest of Stellar Bay.
And poster sounds pretty valuable.
I couldn't really say, I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around by more than a few people by now.
Sure, I can ask about your poster.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Yeah, I just came from there. She lives like right there. Like, that was a lot of preamble for something you could have just done. You could have just been like, yo, Celia.
Gotta sign you in.
Oh, is that the landing pad up there? Oh, I can't get out. Is this one of the places I could have landed on my ship in the first place? Is that why he's like weirdly poised to greet me here? I think it is. But yep, you can just call your ship over as expected. Let's switch to a character that might actually have thoughts about stuff. Just as a matter of preference. I like you, Cleanbot, but I was mostly using you for this giant, pointless planet full of random monsters you can fight. Where it doesn't really matter. And he kind of only has one joke, which is randomly saying a slogan here and there. We've brought you around for a bit. Let's bring you and you. That's an unusual pack. Probably the least used characters in my party so far. Okay. I must have made a misclick. Not sure how I did that. There we go. All that texture popping. That looks a lot like Jupiter to me. There you guys are. Welcome to Stellar Bay, home of criminals, and some other things sometimes. When the wind picks up just right, the sulfur blows away the fish smell. Ugh. That is not a great combo. It can't be. Oh, am I not allowed back here? Yeah, it's all darkened out. Gotcha. So yeah, if you land your ship... if you land your ship here, you pretty much immediately meet that guy. And this is your intro. You walk straight in from there, past some guards, straight to the yacht club, and you immediately meet these characters. So that's like... no delay at all. And this guy's all snooty at you.
Thanks again for setting me up with Sebastian. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Grim asked me to check on with you about his Tossball poster.
You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grimm wore her patience thin a long time ago.
Thanks, I'll do that. Ah, Velma's the same character the other quest sent me after. Go figure. Another Stellar Bay sign. In even less repair.
Look, I don't... Oh, sorry. For a second, I thought you were Grimm.
Oh wow, they're really tired of him. That's the real reason he can't just go himself. He's been incessantly asking about this stuff so much that everyone's sick of him. Oopsie. Just randomly bought something, I don't even know what it was. I just accidentally pressed E for a second there. That was what my actual goal was. Just keep stocking up on ammo. Continue this legacy so far where I have just no risk of ever running out, to the point where the resource doesn't really even have a purpose anymore. It's a pretty big warehouse. Well, that looks cool. Some kind of hydro, what's it? Oh, there's the salt tuna. This must be the fishery where they do all the... yeah. What does that thing do? Can you tell me?
You're probably looking for Velma. Watch out.
Watch out, she's in a mood. I'm also not going to give you any helpful explanation of the cool thing you're looking at right now.
Understood. I'll keep my head down.
Plenty random workers to make the whole place look populated and busy. There's Velma Ballard. Where have I heard that name before? I bet she's pretty swell, isn't she?
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry.
Take it easy, I'm just looking around.
Well, if you're that friendly about it, then you definitely aren't one of Catherine's sublight toughs. My mistake. I hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing.
Your chief what?
Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess.
I've got bad news about Braxton.
That he's got his load on and I'm stuck covering his shift?
He was killed by cannibals out in the ruins.
That's... wow. I sure feel like an ass now.
It's a rotten way to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on Catherine herself. Still, it's good to know what happened to him. And that I ought to start looking for a replacement. Something else on your mind?
I'm here to ask about Grimm's poster.
This again? I swear, this is the last time I contract for any special requests. You can tell Grimm his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer for it. So now it's going to Nell. That about cover it?
Damn. Who's Nell?
She runs the betting parlor across the way. Nice professional lady. She asked me about the poster once. Just once. Made a real generous offer, too.
So it's about the money.
Damn right it is.
So you're just giving Grimm's poster away? Didn't he pay for it?
No. I paid Sublight for it. So it's mine. And when Nell pays me for it, it'll be hers. Grimm may have asked for the poster, but it's not his until I take his money.
You still have the poster, right?
It's staying locked up in my office until Nell shows with her money.
Surely we can work something out.
Sure can. If you want to pay me more than Nell's offering.
Help me out here. I found Braxton, didn't I?
Fair enough. The damn thing's been a headache anyway. Take the poster then. And if I never hear another word about it, it'll be too soon.
Let's talk about Caleb.
Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say.
Caleb says they need a raise to keep up with the prices around here.
Tell him to complain to Catherine in Fallbrook, not me. Sublight's demanding more money for the same contracts, which means we're all in the same boat.
They're hard workers, aren't they? Don't they deserve some compensation for that?
Hard workers? They turn dials and flip switches. The machines do all the actual work. Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else around here, I'll tell you that much. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate.
You've already lost Braxton. Can you afford to lose Caleb's entire team?
I don't even want to think about that. Or how far behind Braxton's loss alone is going to put us. Fine. Tell Caleb he and his team can have their raise, but I need them back here immediately.
Who's this Catherine you mentioned when I first came in here?
Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a ground six spacer.
I'll talk to you later. Blah. Blah. God damn, I really leaned heavy on the fact that I found out that person was dead. Like, it just kept coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. And I'm like, I feel kind of bad about it. But they're kind of reasonable arguments. But it's also just a huge coincidence that I randomly encountered that quest beforehand. Where is perception? Melee, blop blop, ranged, blop blop blop, defense, blop blop, dialogue, blop blop blop, stealth, blop blop, tech, leadership. I'm confused. So I keep seeing dialogue options that are grayed out because my perception's too low. And perception is not a skill. Persuade is a skill. Am I missing something here? Let's do a little Google. Outer Worlds Perception. So I'm like, what the fuck? Drink something caffeinated. It temporarily increases mind attributes, intelligence, and perception by 1. Is it one of the other tabs? Summary. Ah, perception. Okay. That's interesting. So perception's like it's not something that changes over time. It's part of your base stats. I went dexterity, intelligence, and charm, so that's just a thing I'm permanently behind on. Gotcha. I keep getting tempted to put points into it because it's a thing stopping me from getting certain dialogue options, but nope, that was way back there. Well, good to know. Have it figured out. Increased hostile effect duration on enemies. Hack auto mechanicals. companion skills are doubled? Holy shit. That's pretty strong. I might go for that. Ba-boom. 60. Hello, Max. So you have a 230 damage weapon. I can beat that. There you go. That's a 133. I actually don't think I can beat that. Don't currently have a better gun on me. 20% bonus science weapon damage. You and your companions deal bonus. But I have to give him a science weapon for that to do anything. Which they're not mind-blowing, but it's an option. Not sure if that's what I want though. It's too specific. Situational. Not being psyched about that particular stat, just giving him a nice chunk of tankiness is gonna be helpful. I want to give every single companion the increased health if I don't see a particularly cool other skill, because being able, like, one of the best things about Sam was the increased health and then the increased aggro, because then you're like, alright, cool, this guy actually can get the enemies to pay attention to him.
Plenty of work to do, especially with so many no-shows.
And then when he's getting the attention, he also can survive it for a long time. Definitely the appeal of that character. It's just too bad he's not much of a story character. He's no HK-47, although I do appreciate some of what they did with him.
Velma seem out of sorts too?
She's always cranky.
No, I mean more than usual.
Wouldn't know. I made it a point to stay out of her way.
Somebody putting the pressure on her? Or is it just the stress of all the different vanishing people and so on? It seems like it's been a mess in here. People have been dying. Or maybe I'll find some context back here. Yeah, with a unique name like the Vermin, I really thought that was going to be a unique gun, but I'm just finding another copy of the Vermin everywhere I go. Personal files. For... this should be Velma, I assume? Please enter authorization. I can just hack that. Hecked B. Braxton Hex files are filled with Saltuna breeding charts, various pharmacological formulae, and the musings of why Saltuna seems to prefer Borst and beans over plain Borstwurst. V. Ballard. Velma's personal files are a morass of supply contracts, order forms, spreadsheets, and financial records. Careful study of her financials reveals that for the past several years she has been slowly siphoning money from her operating budget into a personal account. The theft is cleverly hidden. Individual instances could be excused as rounding errors or mistakes in simple arithmetic. The sheer volume of occurrences, however, indicates deliberate intent. Rutrow. Wasn't there another one? Mash random keys? No, we already bypassed it. No, that was the only names. Messages. To Brian Hecht. Braxton the fish tank in 23A are looking a little too lumpy. If you're not going to make it in, that's fine, but you have to let me know so I can stay on top of the doses. Velma. S. Nandy. Mr. Nandy, we really need to talk about the Saltuna situation. I've had to let 4 batches rot in the warehouse over the last 2 months because we're not finding buyers. I know the situation with the board puts us in a tough spot, but we need to start thinking about how we're going to keep Stellar Bay afloat if we can't get sales up. You just eat the salt tuna. Brian Hecht. Brax, seriously. Where are you? You've missed 3 shifts. This is getting ridiculous even for you, V. Or yeah, it's Braxton Hecht, not Brian Hecht. I'm thinking of Brian Wecht because of Braxton Hecht. Well, I found the blackmail. Oopsie. That was not supposed to be a dramatic gun draw.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt tuna guts.
No. No reason. There's no reason to bring it up at random, apparently, and just discuss that. I know what you've been up to. I guess it was a way of dealing with the blackmailing to get around the issue if I didn't have enough persuasion to just solve it myself. But I did. I did have the persuasion. I always do. I wonder what percentage of Let's Play, RPG players play with the high persuasion stack, because I feel like it's 80% of them or more.
Ooh, you're the new face. Wow, you must be up on all the latest Tossball games. So who do you follow? Wait, don't tell me. You look like a Hammersmith Thunder fan. No, Glacial H. Mammoths.
I'm not here to chat about teams.
That's a shame. Tossball's just about the only good news we get around here. When our frequency's not too clogged up anyway.
You get to listen to games all day? Stellar Bay really is a paradise.
It's pretty swell, but it's a whole lot better with company. Say, I don't think I've seen you before, and I'd remember that face.
I'll try not to be a stranger then. Name's Felix, by the way.
You should stop by more often. The games are always better when you've got someone to celebrate with.
Sounds like a good time. I wouldn't mind bringing a couple drinks and settling in for the pennant match.
Look at me, getting carried away again. So, what can I do for you?
Well, that paid off immediately, switching to another character. Immediately. Am I about to romance another character? Is that about to happen? You said you were having trouble receiving the Tossball game transmissions.
Graham's always filling the airwaves with this propaganda, like it's done him any good. All it means is the Tossball games get to us in fragments. Makes them real hard to watch.
That's all for now. We gotta restore the airwaves so 3 now can give us the Andrews sisters. Hey, it's one of these boards again. Why is the middle so... I don't get it. It almost looks like it's made of metal. Wow, what exciting television screens. A bunch of logos sitting completely still. Still no idea what Tossball is, but it seems to be a little like... lacrosse. Employee login. Login as Williams. Welcome, E. Williams. Patient records. Please enter the name of the patients whose records you want to view. Nyoka. Caffeinoid allotment standard. Medical engineer notes. Liver damage, likely the result of prolonged alcoholism. Attitude problems, likely the result of prolonged alcoholism. Frequent social withdrawal, likely the result of prolonged alcoholism. Increased caffeinoid allotment. Allotment increased to high. Warning, excessive caffeinoid consumption may lead to side effects such as irritability, fatigue, uncontrollable bowel movements, nausea, and death. Wow, that really escalated at the end there. Caffeinoid storage is approaching critical levels. Resupply recommended. So they're gonna run out. Well... me. Patient not found. Please try again. There's also no brackets, which was weird. Data storage. Please enter the name of the employee whose files you want to view. E. Williams. Dr. E. Williams. Reacticism plus pep you up. I had hypothesized that this combination might awaken my mind and senses to greater realities around us. If that is true, then it seems my faculties were quite overwhelmed in this instance. Shortly after the dosage, I experienced cold sweats, tremors, and mild paranoia. It is perhaps due to these latter effects that most of my notes from the episode are of little use. Nevertheless, the effects are most invigorating. I'll have to attempt a milder dosage once the heart palpitations subside. He's experimenting with the drugs. Bushberry extract and debelarol. After my previous experiments, I theorized that deadening the external senses might allow the mind's eye to glimpse the eternal. Alas, I was only partially successful. The combination of substances quickly rendered me both blind and feeble, so much that I soon fell into a stupor. I awoke some hours later in a pile of my own sick and a most curious craving for tileritos. Costolarine and triple dosage. Vial empty. Uh-oh, is he dead? A. Edwards. Work in progress 1, 2, and 3. 23,000 words, 15,000 words, 146,000 words. Are we working on books? You are. Stellar Bride. She's a wide-eyed colonist from Earth. He is a hard-working Saltuna farmer from Monarch. Their attraction blossoms into a whirlwind romance that transforms Stellar Bay. Chapter 3. A long way from Arkansas. You can put your things here, Mr. Elliot said, leading Abby into a dim apartment. The place was small, but it had a certain cozy charm. Abby set her bags on the floor and loosened the straps of her jumpsuit. Mr. Elliot coughed, his face suddenly red. If you get warm, you can always crack the window. Breeze from the bay is real nice. Just be careful about mantis swarms. As Abby went to take the room key, her fingers brushed his. He had strong, rough hands, a Saltuna's farmer's hands. She felt herself blush. You've been ever so kind to me, Mr. Elliot. Call me Archibald, he said. Working on a romance. The Passion Broker, a renegade iconoclast driven by his ideals, finds love in the arms of a mysterious man with a tortured past. Okay, there's a trend here. Will he follow his head or his heart? Chapter 2. Tall, dark, and handsome. Come on up, said the voice in the comm. It was dangerous and smooth in a way that reminded Broderick of iceberg-aged whiskey. The door slid open with a whisper of perfumed air. The hair rose along the nape of his neck, and he proceeded up the stairs. The broker sat with his back to a top-of-the-line, mostly charcoal personal heater, slender fingers tented. So this was the mysterious recluse who manipulated Monarch from afar. Broderick could feel the warmth of the heater from across the room, but it was the look in the broker's eyes that had him feeling feverish. The broker produced a pair of glasses and a bottle of something that looked expensive. He poured it off and held one of the glasses out to Broderick. For me? He asked, trying to ignore the man's smoldering gaze. Indeed, the broker purred. I hear you're a man of bold tastes. Broderick took his glass. The broker continued, dark hair falling over darker eyes. That's why I've got a rare proposition for you. The glass nearly slipped from Broderick's fingers. He drank it in one gulp to hide the tremor in his hand. It burned all the way down. They go, fuck! Apparently this is the premise that really struck gold in this person's mind, because this one's many times longer than all the other ones. Clinic of the Heart. A battle-hardened young Earth Directorate soldier visits a remote clinic on Monarch to heal his injuries. But when he meets Gail, an elegant older nurse, she goes to work on his heart as well. Chapter 34, Healing Touch. Fletcher held her tightly. His strength had returned, that much was clear. Yet here he remained at the clinic with her. He shook his head as if he'd read her mind with perfect green eyes. Gail, The Earth Directorate's calling me back. They want me protecting Byzantium, but I don't know how to leave. Not after what not after we've found together. Then stay, she whispered, letting her breath warm his ear. I can certainly find a position for you here. Oh, laws, he moaned, pulling her closer. She pressed a finger to his lips. Shh. The only law here is love. It's beautiful garbage. It's never sounded natural a single time when any character says law. Like, as a stand-in for, like, oh god or whatever. They keep saying, like, law, oh law, and stuff like that. And it always sounds like the voice actor has to, like, pause for a moment, awkwardly, trying to say it. Man, I am just a dangerous-ass person that just gets right in there. So I should warn her that that while I have given her access to caffeinoid, she's at a risk of, like, some really embarrassing symptoms and then death. Whichever one scares her more.
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember. What can Auntie Abigail do for you?
I think she was checking out my ass. And it makes sense, she's writing all these romance novels. Are you in charge of handing out medicine?
Yes, indeed. Someone's got to keep Stellar Bay's people healthy and energized.
Wow. You certainly seem excited about your job.
Oh, but I am. I get to see plenty of my neighbors here, and I do dearly love a little gossip.
I'm picking up caffeinoid for Nyoka Ramnarim Wentworth III.
Now that can't be. Ms. Ramnarim Wentworth has already exceeded the month's... Oh. Dear me. She does have another dose in her allotment. How did I miss this?
Don't worry about it, Auntie. I'm sure you've been busy.
My, but you are a doll. Here's Nyoka's caffeinoid, and if I know her, she's probably ready for it by now. Do take care of yourself, dearie.
Poor lady's got some serious substance abuse problems. She had some striking characteristics, so I was a little curious if she was a companion, because we're still missing at least one of them. But nope, side quest, not companion quest. I saw the dyed hair and so on, and I'm like, maybe. Oopsie. Sorry, I just keep drawing guns and accident. Just a normal thing that I do because I'm normal.
Smells like wrapped in here.
Oh, it does work. I bought some musk from Sebastian to cover up the saltuna smell.
Trust me, this is worse.
Good to know Sebastian had like one more customer though. Just not a great idea though. It is funny we enter the town that I was looking forward to getting to because it might have the least shitty government and people, which seems to be right so far. But it also specifically features a character called Sebastian and a character called Ballard, which is just weirdly specific. These mushrooms weird me out a little bit. So there's another exit. So most of this area is not particularly important. There's one double door. Yeah, it's that building with all the doors on the map is the hospital.
Someone's been killed.
Oh. That's specifically not good, as it turns out. Anyone else gonna react to this? Did you hear that, Chef?
Whoa, by the stars, my poor heart. I just about pissed my jumpsuit.
Yeah, someone's dead. Why would you admit that to anyone?
Because there's no shame in having overactive bladder muscles, all right? It's a perfectly normal medical condition.
We're used to folks swooning at our feet. You don't gotta be embarrassed.
A healthy survival reflex is nothing to be embarrassed about. Besides, this place is enough to try anyone's nerves.
How's that?
Where should I begin? With the oversized mantisaurs? Or perhaps the rats spewing acid at our walls? The board was right. This place isn't fit for human habitation, and I was a fool for staying.
My engineer's looking to get a dust-back casserole. Can you cook one of those?
That was a real popular meal 10, 20 years back, before the board tucked tail and ran. These days, everybody's had a belly full of salt tuna. They all want borscht. And the mushrooms, well, not many venture out of town, what with the monsters hereabouts. I can whip one up for you, but it'll cost. Here's a menu.
Do you take me for an idiot? No damn casserole's worth that much. Try again. Try harder.
Whoa, hold on. Okay. Leak contained. My stars. Look, Captain. This is the best I can do without putting myself out of business.
Glad you saw a reason. 2,000 bits is much more reasonable.
I'm mighty glad you reckon so. This is gonna take about an hour in the oven. Nothing I can do to speed it. That's just how cooking works. There we are. Now, if you don't mind, I really need to take a leak.
Leak contained. I made him want to pee. 3,000 fucking credits for one fucking meal. Holy shit.
Good day to you.
Good day to you. That just did not generally sound right. Oh, I think that's where the killing happened. Got a vague guess going on here.
Let's take a look inside.
It's like, why is it so hard to pick these up? Okay. My bad, sorry, I thought you were somebody in this restaurant. Tamajkur.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Are you alright?
No! I just stepped in a dead man's blood. And I think one of the flies landed on my mouth. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. That's where the body is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go contemplate a hot shower.
How about you contemplate fucking reporting it to the guards? You... what? Just gonna walk away? This guy's just like, haha, I just watched that guy freak out about a dead guy. I'm just gonna hang out.
We're not used to outside help around here.
Yeah, you all like to remind me of that every time I'd go anywhere. Wow, a new person, says everyone in the game. We don't see new people no more. Not since the war.
Murder? Hey, is this the part where we go hunting for clues?
Gruesome way to die.
Something's gonna happen. That's a victim. Here we go. Tossball betting slip. This betting slip lists some increasingly bold wagers made for a team called Mostly Colonists. It's from left field tossball betting. I think we want to investigate. We might want to go to the Tossball sports bar. See if they have information about this. Several ragged outfits, all of the same cut and color, were stuffed into the suitcase. Gonna want to investigate left tossball betting. See what we can find out. For now, still poking around. Sup, rando. To S. Nandy. Mr. Nandy, sorry to bother you about this, but something foul is leaking from the apartment upstairs. I don't know what Celia is keeping up there, but she works for you, right? Do you think you could talk to her about it? I rose. Isaac, can you please try to keep your windows shut? As I've tried to explain, leaving them open, especially when you've got food out, invites mantis swarms, and a mantis swarm infestation is everyone's problem. Be hecked. Braxton, I know you keep odd hours. I know I've been hearing you come and going at all times, the day and night. But maybe you could try to close your door a little more quietly? I have rather sensitive nerves, and every time I hear your door, I think it's the middle of the nether Amber Heights. Relatable. Living with people who have basically random hours for other shifts and sleeping and all that. You get some loud doors sometimes. It's like, can you just not?
Don't mention Tossball to Isaac. You'll never hear the end of it.
You know, I haven't seen him in a while.
If you'd gotten stuck in an hour-long rant about mostly colonists, you'd be thankful.
Oh, so that's Isaac that's dead. So now we know the murder victim. By name. Laura.
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh?
Everyone's so jumpy. Well, yeah, why is everyone in this town so jumpy?
Jumpy? Who's jumpy? I'm not jumpy.
What? That's the end of the dialogue? Did you kill him?
Everything's spinning. I'm just gonna take it easy, okay?
Oh, it's drugs. Ad for delivery. It's dropping a care package off with the Mathers in the old ruins south of Stellar Bay. Be back soon. Laura, I know you're reading this. Stay out of my things. A care package in quotes. I'm sorry. Does this person who wrote that intentionally supply the Mathers with human bodies? Or are they the person who got murdered? I don't know. Care package in quotes sounds like they were in on it, and that's fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. Well, poking in and out of this place is definitely turning up new things. Have we looped all the way back around to Neoka? Kind of, yeah. I think we might be at the point where we've seen most of town, hopefully. Otherwise I've screwed up and completely missed a building somewhere.
All I'm saying, son, is you'll generate more force with the proper grip. It's more like this, not like that.
No offense, Max, but I think I know my way around a tossball stick. I got my own set of highly specialized skull-cracking techniques.
Keep your eye on the ball. Eye on the ball. I always think of the scene from Sandlot where there's a keep your eye on the ball and then he gets hit directly in the eye by the ball. Classic.
Ah, the charmer. Welcome back. Drink, chat, or business? All of the above?
I've got your magic pills. These things are dangerous, you know.
More or less dangerous than a steady supply of alcohol. Give it here.
I mean, you're taking both.
Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's go.
Glad to have you.
Great. Where to?
Let's find the information broker.
Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like hunting, right? That's fun. If you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss options when we get closer. That said, 3's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
Felix, wait on the ship. We need Nyoka's help for now.
As long as you've got my back, I'll have yours. Welcome to the unreliable crew.
Okay.
You look like a preacher. You a traveling vicar?
In a manner of speaking.
Stellar Bay had a vicar once. He took it upon himself to convince Graham's folk to come back to the corporate fold. Kept making the trip between the city and Amber Heights by foot. Kept getting himself into all sorts of scrapes. Day came when I found a book of his in the middle of a rapt encampment. And still gripping it, too.
The plan unfolds as the plan unfolds. To vicar and layman alike.
Well, damn. I guess I was wrong. I guess it's just the fact that when I recruited other characters, the quest that recruited them was also their companion quest, but me recruiting her has nothing to do with whatever deeper quest she'll probably unlock later on about who she is. So there we go. That looks like a companion in an RPG radar was definitely going off, and I guess I was right. She is just she has so much color, just in general. It's like a weird, like, I don't know, retro futurist Joker costume. Once again, just kind of bummed out that after only a moment she'll not look like that for the rest of the game because she'll wear generic armor. I wonder if there's a mod that lets you turn that off and just make them wear their normal costume, because they have more personality without this.